lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan, and with me today, one of my good friends, Adam Lemna of Relic Hunter fame, is going to be going through Savage Sword of Conan #1 with me. Very happy to have him on Talking Comics.
Hey man, how you doing?
Doing well, dude. Yeah. So anybody, if you don't know Adam's stuff, I will link his where you can buy his book. He does Relic Hunter. And we've done an interview together. He's worked on Ghost Agents. He's worked on all sorts of cool stuff. So I will drop the link where you can pick up his book. But we've been talking about doing something with Conan for a while because he's a huge Conan head. I picked this up and I immediately messaged him and I was like, "Did you get this?" And he responded, "Let's do a video." So before I could even ask him to do it, he was already on the same wavelength as me. So very happy to be talking about this. I was excited when I found out that, not only was this title coming back, but they were going to go full blown, like old school with this. It's on newsprint. It's magazine sized. It's a great cover. The only thing that I think should have been called out is this is very reminiscent of Frazetta, and I don't see a call out to Frazetta on here. And that's my only gripe. It's a great cover by Joe Jusko, but this right here, that's Frazetta.
Without a doubt. I mean, the original Savage Sword is all over this book, and it's really beautiful, and it's a great presentation, and they're really doing everything that they can to get it right. And not to bury the lead, I think that they did get it right.
I agree. I think Titan Comics, since they got the license, not to throw shade at Marvel, but I think what we've been getting from Titan Comics with the, the relaunch with Jim Zub writing it, I think it's just been fantastic. They go a little bit further than Marvel was going, in terms of the maturity of the title. I don't want to say like it's like, oh, there's a bunch of TNA or a bunch of gore, but like they know how to tread that line and deliver a hell of a comic, and they did it again with this. So I'll jump right into it. As you can see, it's black and white, it's on newsprint.
It starts just like the original does with the Numidian Chronicles, man. And it puts you right in the world. You're there from the very beginning. From the time that you read those words, you're like, I'm ready to go. And they're doing the original adventures as well. They're re-putting these things out, which is awesome.
I know. I really am anxious to get these because it's hard for me to buy old reprints because I fucking hate on that fucking stark white paper when they're reprinting these books. They're on newsprint because the coloring is it looks like shit. There's no other way to say it. I know I'll buy some of them because like I can't afford originals. So if this is the only way I can read it, like, okay, I'll do it, right? Like on their facsimiles. But you'd think like at least with the collections, dude, like go a little bit better. They're doing that. DC is good about their facsimiles. They put it on like the faux newsprint. They do the coloring as like close as possible without recoloring it. But I'm excited to see what Jose Villarrubia did because I believe he's the colorist. He's the one that
if he's the one that colored these, then they're going to be fantastic, and he's going to respect the material, and he's going to make them the absolute best that they can possibly be. Because I mean, the work that he's been doing with Richard Corbin's work is unbelievable.
Oh, dude, what he did on the Absolute Swamp Thing, the Len Wein, Bernie Wrightson one. I did a video on that. Dude, they should have let him do the coloring on the Alan Moore ones. Because the Alan Moore ones, like, some of them are just like, what did you do to the coloring, dude? It just doesn't look right. But I digress.
I mean, they're so old as well. Seeing them, like, updated, even just having the color in those Swamp Things updated would be amazing.
The contents of this book, it's not just straight comics. You get some prose. You're going to get a map of the Hyborian Age, which I love maps. I'm a sucker for that shit. I love seeing we get an intro by Roy Thomas, which is phenomenal. You get some pinups. You get an essay. A good balance of content in this book, I think.
Oh yeah, totally, man. And you're starting the same way that traditionally Savage Sword of Conan would start, with a table of contents, breaking down what everything is and who worked on everything, and then interspersing everything with these incredible looking pinups.
Dude, this pinup's sick. I love Roy Thomas's intro because like he's synonymous with Conan. He was the writer from the beginning, did a lot of Savage Sword. What's really interesting that I pulled out from this is that they're asking him to come back and do another Conan story in here.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I'm definitely stoked to see what he does coming back to the franchise after, I mean, years away.
Oh, me too, because his voice is the voice of the Savage Sword of Conan stories. I mean, he's the one that adapted most of them. Not
Yeah.
all of them, but most of them. And he has a good feel for Robert E. Howard's prose. It's
Mhm.
very purple, it's very pulpy, it's very fun. And Roy Thomas always captured that really, really well. And so, and I think that this book does a really good job of capturing it also.
Mhm.
And I'll be excited to see what Roy brings to the table for this, because we've had a lifetime of comics in between,
Yeah.
you know, the original run of these and now. So it'll be interesting to see what he does.
I mean, yeah, it went to Dark Horse, it went back to Marvel, now it's with Titan. I think Dark Horse did a great job when they had
Oh
the
yeah,
Arcudi.
totally.
So much good stuff. Like I just picked up that Kurt Busiek Carrie Nord trade from
Oh
back
yeah,
in the day because I adored it, dude. Becky Cloonan did a great Conan run. I love the map. Like I said, I'm a sucker for this stuff. I love seeing this.
agreed.
It's so good. So the
It's like
detail on
getting
it.
a new role-playing game, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so fun.
And then we get a nice little pinup of Belit. And then we jump into the first story by John Arcudi.
Which
And
the story is fantastic.
yeah, and
And
Max von Fafner.
oh yeah, Max von Fafner, and his art is
It sings,
perfect.
dude. It's so good.
He
Just like
recalls
this.
Buscema in the best ways, man.
Yeah. Like this right here. Even just like the grass. Like,
Oh yeah, the use of white,
yeah.
the way that he renders everything, and some things look like they're rendered in pencil, some look like it's rendered in ink. I mean, the guy is methods and materials all over the place.
Hmm.
There's ink washes, there's full blacks, and that's something also that really speaks back to the original Savage Sword of Conan aesthetic. The
Hmm.
most well-known of which is like the John Buscema and the Tribe, the guys that worked with him, you know, Alfredo Akala, Tony Zuniga, Ernie Chan, all of these guys, and they had a very painterly style of drawing. And so this is a great mixture of like a modern art style that also incorporates that art style from back then, in particular the way that von Fafner renders the female character is awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. And I love that Conan is like leading this horde to this city, but these guys don't really give a shit. They don't care about his like leadership, right? And they're told not to like fuck with this girl, this engineer, which I love that the engineer is a
Yeah,
woman. I think that's awesome. And what happens? He gets fucking. I love this. He gets ripped off as he's like going to grab her,
yeah,
and I love dude, this scene right here too of where he's gonna let him go, right? But the
yeah.
other dude's like, "Fuck no." Boom, head just chopped straight
And
off.
that's it. You're in the world, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
like the faces of
Yeah.
these guys are so distinct and
Hmm.
filthy and dirty. And then right from the very beginning, you're like, okay, this world is violent and dangerous, and you will most likely die.
No, it's fantastic, dude. I love this scene with Conan, just the way he's sitting.
Oh yeah, man. It's the classic Conan Buscema pose, lounging.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you know, it's great. You know, this story recalls in a lot of ways a story, and we were talking about this beforehand, called The Citadel at the End of Time from
Hmm.
issue 7 of the original run of Savage Sword of Conan. And I would encourage anybody, if you like this story, go back and see if you can track that down, take a look at it. I mean, like there are lots of things that in a very respectful way, they're sort of calling back to in this story from that story. So, and right away, you're getting an ambiguously the person that Conan is serving is he's ambiguously evil. You don't know, and Conan doesn't really he serves him, but there's a lot of tension between the two of them. And the dude's got
I
lions.
know. I mean, that's fucking dope in and of itself, you know?
I love it, man. And even the way that like Von Fafner makes the lion's eyes look when he's
Yeah.
looking back at Conan, it's like, oh man, this is
There's a
so good.
sadness.
Yeah. I mean, everything is really rendered well. All
Oh,
of
the
the
detail is fantastic.
so,
Yeah.
so good. And of course, I mean, look at this. I mean, and it's really interesting too, because you know, I don't know Max von Fafner's work very
Me
well,
either. This is the first
but
time I've seen his work.
man, I whatever he's making, I'm gonna be picking up because the way that he renders things is so wild, and he gets it so right, man.
I mean, look at just these two panels right here.
I
The
know.
change in her face.
And the way that you get like that shaded roundness that
Yeah.
really it's like it recalls Corbin in a
Hmm.
big way, and that's perfect, you know?
Yeah. Like it feels digital, but then it doesn't at the same time to me
Yep,
when I'm looking
totally.
at it.
And that's the thing that I kind of love about it too, because it's like there's no doubt that this is a modern comic. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? With a modern sensibility, because you have a woman who is just as powerful and has as much agency as Conan.
I
She's
love
not
that.
some damsel in distress.
Oh, not at all. And then these guards like come to give him shit because nobody's supposed to fraternize with her. And he just doesn't give a shit.
He's
Just
like,
that
yeah,
right there. That look while he's drinking his fucking meat or whatever, you know what I mean? Like the eye.
and he's like, you won't find me so easy to punish as that cavalryman.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna let you know, you
The
know?
quote unquote punish, you know what I mean? And then they get to this fucking city and they just start. I love his like headdress too, his helmet with the fucking horns coming out.
Oh yeah,
Super
man.
dope.
And I mean, the way that the rocks look, the
Yeah.
textures on everything is really fantastic.
Yep.
All of the animals are rendered really well. I mean, like, I would assume that they're referenced, but at the same time, like, Von Fafner's gone to the length to make them like his own, and
Yes.
they're really well done.
Yeah. And I love this too, this scene where like after the
Oh,
elephants are trying to break down and you just see it fly open and then boom, there's a fucking dinosaur, dude.
yeah, man, and it's a double page splash.
Yeah.
It's huge. It looks
You see the
like
scope of it too with like all the soldiers right here at the bottom of the page in the corner.
yeah,
And
man.
then
It looks like
Conan's
almost like
panel.
stop motion Ray Harryhausen. It just looks amazing, dude. And it's like really well done. Really
The
well done.
way he sells Conan's head whipping around with
Yeah.
these lines right here. Oh my God, it's fantastic, dude.
And throughout the facial expressions are just so right on.
Yeah.
This whole sequence is so cool, man. The
Oh,
way
it's
that,
great.
with the guys in the lower right-hand corner just like running away. This whole sequence was really Corbin to me. It really felt really Corbin to me. And I
Mhm.
really dug it, man. I think that it's such a great, like, he's playing with the different styles that I love to play with. And it's really, I mean, he's so, so good that it's just, this is it.
It's weird too, because some of it looks like it's almost 3D rendered, and then
Yep.
he draws like lines on top of it, like right here on the rocks,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Like you can just see the like very thin line going over, but otherwise it looks like it's
Yeah, but there's white media in there. I don't know if you can see it on the newsprint, but it's pretty clear on the digital copy that he's putting white media on top of that stuff. He's filling in blacks in there.
yeah,
He's doing a lot of work on top of it, but obviously it is like a collage element.
it
And I
is. It's
think that that's
interesting.
really cool,
I
man.
dig it. I dig it. It is
Yeah.
definitely a very unique artistic style that I can comfortably say I'm not seeing anywhere else in comic books right now that I
Oh
know
yeah,
of.
no
Not
way.
the ones
It's
I'm
really
reading.
great. It's almost like, I mean, like if you look at like that second panel there, it's almost like an animated film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the way that he renders Conan with that white outline, it almost and the way that he renders the mouth with that white outline, the mouth of the
Yeah.
T-Rex, it really like he understands making comics in black and white. He
Hmm.
understands and gives so much texture. Again, you can see like in the digital copy that he's like, putting fingerprints in the ink and stuff
Okay.
on that dinosaur face. It's super dope, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting because you showed me some pages of the digital copy before we started recording, and it's like it's almost like as much as I love the newsprint, I feel like they could tweak it a little bit still so that
Yeah,
we're not losing some of the rendering because some of the rendering is lost in here, and it was more noticeable in that Belit pinup
yeah,
that I we showed off earlier. I'd be interested to kind of see what else this looks like digital because while I love it, it's beautiful. I do know that there's stuff lost, and like it'd be,
yeah.
having seen that pinup, I can only imagine what else we're kind of losing a little bit here. I love the way this fucking thing goes straight into the dinosaur's eye, this fucking massive spear.
Yeah, man, it's so good. And it's such a great idea too, because earlier they set up, Chekhov's ballista earlier, and now now you see her using it to
Yeah.
like save Conan, because basically in that second panel where you see that T-Rex roaring at Conan, he knows that he's dead. He's gonna die. He's like,
Yeah.
that's it, I'm dead.
Yeah. He's given up. And then
So
he's fucking real pissed at this dude. He's like, he fucking is like, you knew about this the whole time, dude. You were just fucking using us.
yeah, and then he sets his
Lions.
lions on Conan, and everybody knows that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You know? But it gives us a great excuse to see Conan just like
Fight a
wailing
lion.
on
Yeah.
some animals, like straight out of, you know, gladiator times, man.
Dude, the sword straight through the head.
I love the way that it's like biting his helmet too and like crunching it down on his head. It's so good.
Yeah. These are fantastic pages.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, like the rendering on the lion is fantastic.
Oh, it's next
And
level.
then
Yeah.
look at Conan here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's ready to kill. It's dope, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's hulking. You get the full sense of his like out of control animalistic power at this.
Yes. Oh, dude. Yeah. He's in full fucking rage mode right here. But then what does he do? He just like walks off, right? Because he realizes
Yeah.
like, he can't do anything right now.
Because of her. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, yeah,
Look at that.
that's-
That foretells what's about to go down with Mr. Conan the Barbarian. Dude, look at that.
Lest you forget that we are in an adult comic.
Yes.
And that, I think it's actually really well done.
It's
because
very tasteful.
very
Not gratuitous at all.
not at all. No. And I mean, like, the scenes where they're together are actually like, you know, there's a scene later on, a shot later on of them in bed together. And it's really great, man. It fits, it works.
Yeah. I love this line. Turn your backs before I pull your eyes from your heads.
Conan's like, you're not looking in here. Get your eyes off this lady.
Dude, I love this panel right here. That fucking grin. Oh my God,
yeah,
dude.
man. All of these faces, though, man,
They are really good.
Good. And look at the way that the interior of this tent is rendered. It's so good, man. I love the way that the way that Von Fafner lays the characters in on top of his backgrounds is really, really cool, man.
Yeah.
It works really well. And this is one of my favorite parts too, like climbing into this ziggurat. I can't stress enough, or into this town. I can't stress enough going to check out Citadel at the End of Time, because you know, there are references all over this particular story to that story. And I think that, you know, it really helps you get the full sort of sense of this story when you have that background as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. You know, it's interesting that you said that it's so it pulls so much from me, because like I wonder why, if that is the case, why you wouldn't call that out somewhere in this book. You know, like thank you what so and so for, you know, the inspiration or whatever. But that's whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Exactly. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's more like inspired by it in so many ways, and that's what I love. Here's that shot that I was talking about of them in bed together. It's so good. Just a little bit of nudity, you know, but it speaks to their relationship, especially after he's, you know, snuck into this city at night and all he sees are corpses everywhere.
I know, it's fucking nuts. And then here, one of the prince's fucking soldiers comes up, and you know, Conan's basically asking him if he'll back him. And then we see it was all a fucking trick, dude.
But Conan was prepared. He knew. That these guys probably wouldn't help him.
Yeah.
And or should I say his girlfriend knew. Because Conan didn't know. He tells her.
The way the fucking noose drops and rips him up, and you just hear the crack of his neck.
Yeah, man. It's so good. And the way that he tells her afterwards, cunning suits you, Aeneas. Your sly design worked. As they're standing underneath the dude who's just hanging off of the catapult.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at that headlock, dude.
These pages, I mean, it's beautiful.
It is, man. This is straight up like wrestling comics almost. You know what I mean? It's like titans going at one another.
Yeah.
And you know, every piece of it is built to make it look that way. I mean, the fact that you're looking up at them, you know, all the cameras are up angles, you know, it makes him look like he's in power. He sets him above us.
Yeah, I really dig the way that they, you know, Von Fafner laid this out, the angles he's choosing, because it makes it so much more fun to read this way than just like a straight, like, looking at them from, one angle.
Yeah, man. And I think that he really manages to capture the right moments in the fight, and he keeps it short without making it gratuitous either. Like the violence isn't gratuitous either. It's all, it all makes sense. It's all motivated by what's happening in the story. And so obviously now Conan's going to face down our bad guy. Doesn't quite work out that way. He takes him into the city, and everybody's dead in the city, and they go to, I guess, Conan's employer's brother.
Yeah.
Who's running this dead city atop this gold mine.
So good, dude.
Yeah, I love the carpets. I love like
all of it, dude. The textures on all of it. He sells it, and to me, like, I feel like you have to. It takes just a little bit more if you're doing a black and white comic to sell the texture on something and to sell a scene, because like you don't have the added like coloring to age something or make the stone look old. Like he does all that very well.
Totally. And I think it's really cool the way that he uses, the way that he uses collage elements throughout. It's really smart, man. He's using it in an artistic way and making it a good tool.
I love this fucking page right here too.
Oh my God, man. This fight between them and they call them dragons, T-Rexes. It's fantastic, man. And I mean, as we go through here, look at this spread, dude, is so sick. I love that bottom right panel on the left-hand page.
Which one, where he has his hands in his mouth right here?
I do love that. No, but I'm talking about the one on the other.
On the left. Oh yeah.
The figure pose for both of them is so good. The way that he's like extended fully, it's pure John Buscema. It's pure.
I love the face on him too.
Yeah, man, it's pure how to make comics the Marvel way, The most dynamic moment captured it each time. And I love the way that he can do close-ups just as well as he can render big scenes. It's really, I'm really blown away, man.
Yeah, I love the sexual innuendo here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
I want to retrieve that sword. No, I'm thinking of another weapon for you. That's right, dude.
And so then we see Homeboy trying to leave the city, but no.
Look at that, dude.
And then we got Chekhov's Ballista makes another appearance, and then we see them riding off into the sunset together. And that's pretty much a perfect Savage Sword of Conan story.
I agree. I mean, look, the bulk of this issue is this story, and I dug it. I love this pinup right here. You get this poem
that's
by Robert E. Howard.
That's Zaffino's son. So that's Jorge Zaffino's son who does this. And Jorge Zaffino did a bunch of pinups like this for Savage Sword of Conan. So it's really, really cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Got a short story by Jim Zub. I mentioned him earlier. He's the writer of the ongoing series,
which is really good too. It's again, these are like really fun short stories, very pulpy.
Yeah. Patch Zircher on Solomon Kane story.
And I love that the art style is completely different. Oh, and I really thought, what I thought was funny was, as soon as I was looking at this old blind man who's part of the, like, I guess, like, bookending story in the pub here, he looks so much like Gene Hackman in Young Frankenstein. I was like, oh man, he had to be referencing him for this. So funny.
You mean Gene Wilder?
No, Gene Hackman. He plays the old blind priest. Yeah, man, he plays.
My God, dude, I need to go back and watch that, dude. I mean, my grandpa worked on that movie.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was assistant director. Yeah, I really dig this story. I think that this particular one, I think the rendering shows more on these particular pages in print. And I don't know if it's because of the style change or like, even the paper looks a little bit whiter than it does on the other stories. So
interesting. That's interesting. Well, yeah, like in the digital version, the backgrounds are full white here.
Yeah.
And that definitely is a difference to the way that Von Fafner sets everything up, which is like full bleed.
Yeah.
You're seeing the panels as panels in
Mhm.
this story, which I actually like. You know, Solomon Kane's a completely different character. I
Yeah.
like that they chose a completely different art style for it. And I
Same.
like the art style that I'm seeing here. You know, it's good. It's very brush. It's a lot of brush work, which I really love. And the only thing I don't really dig in this story is the lettering for the captions. I just don't care for the white on black captions.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
But
Yes.
otherwise, I mean, like,
This is a fun story. I mean, I'm not like super into Solomon Kane, so
right.
I didn't connect with this story as much.
I'll agree. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's you know, it's perfectly serviceable, you know, monster of the week kind
Yeah.
of story.
Yeah.
And it's got some great little moments, but for me, it's not as interesting. And it's not a full story either.
Yeah. I know. I think for me, I would prefer them to just be like, I would rather them not hold over to the next issue.
Totally agree.
And something like
Self-contained is
this.
the
You know
way
what I
to
mean?
go.
Especially if you're going to do a book this thick, they don't need, you can have two stories and have complete stories within them.
100% agree, man. It's just you know, this kind they didn't often do stories that would cross issues either with Savage Sword. So
This
it's
shit is,
interesting to see them do that. But yeah, man, this is
this
an
shit's vicious at the end.
I know I am excited to see the next, you know, so I mean like I'll definitely be getting it. And then of course you get a great little of course you
Howard
get a great
Chaykin
little
pinup.
moment here, and you get a great pinup from Howard Chaykin.
Yeah. Then some of the covers that came out. I wanted the Gerardo Zaffino one, but they didn't have it at the shop. So I mean, I
I
love the Joe
know,
Justo cover,
man.
but that Zaffino cover was just so sick. And then you got, like I said, they're gonna have two trades. You know, as of June, there will be two collections out of the current ongoing. The first one's out. This is just fantastic. I love this. You know, teasing you for the next issue.
And it
Yeah,
looks so cool too, man.
yeah. And you got Jim Zub with Richard Pace doing a story, which I'm
I
fucking
know.
stoked for.
Richard Pace is gonna be so
I
good,
know,
man.
so good. This is a fantastic comic.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't recommend it enough. I think like I keep saying it, Titan's just killing it with Conan so far. So I'm excited to see what else they got in store. I'm not sure if this is monthly. I didn't check that. I would
Yeah,
imagine
I don't
maybe
know.
bi-monthly. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't checked the solicitations, but whenever it comes out, it's going to be fun. And it's always going to be something you can talk about because there are going to be different stories in each one. So go pick it up.
And
And
also get the digital copy as well.
yeah,
The digital copy does come with the other with the variant covers at the very back.
very cool. Yeah. So go. I mean, it's worth it to check out the digital copy too to see the differences. But you know, I'm all about physical copy. So
Oh,
like,
100%.
go pick up the thing. Go pick it up. Make sure you add it to your pull list too, because I think these types of books don't necessarily, you know, they take up a lot of shelf space. So if you want to make
Yep.
sure you got a copy, hit up your shop and subscribe to it, put it on your pull. And Adam, thank you for joining me to talk about this. We might do the next issue too if you're down. So
Oh, I would love to, man.
yeah,
And this is awesome. Thanks
hell
for
yeah.
having me.
Dude, my pleasure. And make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video drops. And on that note, we're out.